everyone! It's been a while again, but here I am. I'm going to do a book haul of all the books that I have accumulated in my collection since the last haul I did, which I think was in like summertime, so I have quite a nice big pile here. I've had my birthday and Christmas since I last did a haul, so I have presents as well as things I bought myself. So yeah, it's actually been so long that I don't remember the order I bought these in. So I've kind of split them up into like books I got for my birthday, books I got for Christmas, books that I know I just bought myself on a whim. I think those are my categories, even though I have 4 piles here. Yes, and then I know that I got some places, and I know I got, and others I don't even remember where I got them from. So bear that in mind, and please have patience with me. But yeah, here are all the books that I got. So I'm going to go through the books I got for my birthday first, just because it's the biggest pile and it kind of gets it all over and done with for them. So the first lot I got a voucher for Waterstones. So I bought an entire series, one that I'd been wanting a while. It's actually a trilogy. But yeah, I'd wanted it for ages, and I thought I'm just going to buy it because, you know, I got this voucher. So I did have to pay a little bit towards them, but I didn't have to pay full price for any of them, so that's fine with me. So I bought the Winners Trilogy by Marie Rutkoski, and yeah, I mean, this, I don't really know much about this, but I've wanted it for ages just because of all the hype. I know it's a fantasy, but it's like, if I remember correctly anyways, it's a fantasy, but it's a fantasy where the main character isn't like a badass assassin, but she is still clever and cunning enough to get through the world, and obviously she's the main part of the story because she is the protagonist. So I just find it interesting, and a lot of people say good things about it, and since I could get all 3 books at once, I thought, why not? So yeah, I bought the entire trilogy, which is, I think they're in order: The Winner's Curse, The Winner's Crime, and The Winner's Kiss, and I hope they are in the correct order. But yeah, there's the 3. And then I got books from Phil, and I think all the rest of my books are actually books that Phil got me. So the first one was one that I got a little bit after my birthday because it was a pre-order, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is the final book in the Throne of Glass series. I still haven't read Tower of Dawn. I'm a little bit behind, and I'm, oh goodness, what was that? I'm getting more behind, and apparently I'm breaking things in my home. So yeah, I'm trying to catch up, but I've been quite bad at reading this year. But I've got the whole series now, so I can finally get through it all. And I have the special edition that has like fan art inside it. There's like a few pages of like drawings of the characters, which is nice. Don't want to spoil this too much, but I'm sure you probably know what this series is by now. It's a big YA fantasy, a little bit more on the adult side, I would say. I wouldn't give this to a younger person starting to get into YA just because of some of the content, but yeah, that's what I got. And then he got me all sequels actually, so I can't really give too much away about them, but he got me Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, and this is the sequel to Truth Witch, and he managed to get me it in the beautiful adult editions. And when I say adult, I mean these are the editions that get put in like normal adult sections of bookstores, nothing saucy as far as I'm aware. Obviously I haven't read it yet, but this, yeah, like I said, this is the sequel to Truth Witch, which follows witches, and there's 2 female best friends who are like the characters you're following. Don't want to go too much into it, but I enjoyed the first one, so I'm glad I've got the second one. And he also got me, he got me quite a lot actually in book wise. I feel like I've just made out as if he doesn't normally get me things, but got me a lot of books this year. I got 2 Dark Reigns, which is by Kendall Blake, and is the final, I think, book in a trilogy. I feel like this is a trilogy. I'm I don't know why I'm looking because it's not going to tell me. It's just, it says series though, so I'm a bit worried. And I need to stop looking at the blurb because I haven't read the second one yet. But this is 3 Dark Crowns, 1 Dark Throne, 2 Dark Reigns, which follows 3 sisters who all have special powers, who are fighting to become the new queen of their world. It's a fantasy story, and I really enjoyed the first book, and I can remember saying that I wasn't sure if it was a 4 or 5 stars and I gave it 4, but I regret not giving it a 4, and I still kind of feel that way. So I should probably boost my ratings because I'm really excited about these books. Because I read my books in the order that I buy them, and I've been quite slow reading this year, I still haven't got to them. If I just read, like, picking up, grabbing what I want, I'd probably have read these books already by now, but I'm strict for myself, and that way I don't miss books out and books don't get forgotten. So yeah, I got that. Then he also got me A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir, and this is the second book to An Ember in the Ashes, which is another fantasy series which I'm a bit foggy on because it was a while ago that I read it, and I think I read it in between reading like a lot of fantasy stories. And I know it features like a male and female perspective, or at least I think I do. Anyways, I'm probably going to have to do my homework on number 1 before I start number 2, but thank you very much, Phil, for buying me the next one. And then, excitingly, for those of you who like it when I haul manga, I got some manga for my birthday from Phil. So I got the, again, complete box set, since it's getting harder and harder to find sequels to books I already own, to complete series. Got me the Revolutionary Girl Utena box set, and this is by Shio Seto and B. Papas. Apologies, that's probably horrendous, but it's a lovely box set, as you can see, and I've got like the only hardback books that I own are in this box. I can't get them out, of course, but look how, oh god, I just killed Baymax. I'll deal with him in a bit. But yeah, so I have these stunning hardback editions. You can see like the backs are really pretty too. And then obviously inside is all the manga. That's probably a spoiler because I think that's the second book. And then it comes with a poster, which slightly X-rated, but that's what it comes with. Cute, but I probably won't hang it up. It'll probably end up staying in the box, and I will try and put them back in the box once I've turned my camera off, because that's probably going to take me a while. But it was worth it because those books are so pretty, and I'm really excited to start another manga series. Then now we're moving on to books that I've just kind of got on a whim when I've been out and about, that I've apparently moved too far away from me. The first one, Phil was actually out and about shopping without me, doing whatever, and he wanted a book in buy one get one half price, but he didn't have a half price one, so he treated me to Love, Simon, or should I say Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. We went to see Love, Simon the movie, which is like not a sticker on this, and we really enjoyed it, so I wanted to read the book, so he picked me up the book. So thank you very much, Phil. It's nice of him. And then I think the rest of these, other than my one Christmas book, are ones I bought myself randomly. Yes, so I'm not entirely sure which ones I bought together at which time, but I have a pile of ones that I got in buy one get one half price, and then I've got like random ones that I bought in other places. So as you can tell, me and Phil go to Waterstones quite a lot, and we just love the deal, and what can I say, we fall for it every time. So the first one I've got in my pile of ones that I've been getting in sale is Sally Green's The Smoke Thieves, which I actually bought this one just because I wanted something to go with another book that I really wanted, that I'll show you in a second. So I don't know much about this. I know Sally Green wrote the Half Bad trilogy, and it was from people's reviews, but I'm willing to give this a go just because it seems interesting and it's really pretty as well, which kind of sold me, but I want to kind of go into it blind. I know it's fantasy, and obviously I know like a princess, a soldier, a hunter, a traitor and a thief, so obviously we must follow quite a few different characters, but that's all I've got for you. And then the book I really wanted that I bought that other book for, is, I'm sure you're really shocked when you've heard how much I really want it, Bright We Burn by Kirsten White. I love this trilogy. I have read the first 2 books, which is Now I Darken and I Darken and Now I Rise, and I can't wait for this 3rd one. This is supposed to be like Attila the Hun fantasy, but I'm not quite sure because I'm not really great on my history if that's correct. There is, I guess, a bit of like Hun culture in there, but it's kind of more European versus like the Turkish part of like Asia. It's like political warfare kind of almost. I feel like I'm rubbish at describing this, but I am addicted to these characters, especially I'm very attached to these characters, and I just absolutely fly through them when I read them, and I'm really impressed with Kirsten White's writing because I read the Paranormalcy trilogy and I liked it and I enjoyed it. It was a fun read, but it wasn't a favourite or anything, but she's really stepped up her game with this trilogy. And then 2 more books I got, one I got because it was a sequel and one I got just because I heard a lot about it. So the sequel that I got that I wanted was Ringer by Lauren Oliver. So I read, oh my god, what's it called? Replica, which is a clone story, and you read the book from each person's point of view. So one is like the original person and the other is the clone. And you read their stories as they entwine, and obviously like their worlds collide and whatnot. I don't feel like that's a spoiler. I mean, I think we all expected that from this series, but this is the 2nd book, and I enjoyed the first one. Again, it's not a favourite or anything, but it was interesting and intriguing enough to pick up the next one and continue on, so I did. And then I got this, which the only review I've heard recently of this book is bad, so I'm a bit worried, but I'm still willing to give it a go because I've liked this author's other books. It's one of the reasons why I was interested in it. And that's Warcross by Marie Lu. And she wrote the Legend trilogy and the Young Elites trilogy, which I read both of them and enjoyed. And I think this is like an online world, like online gaming world, that follows a character in there somehow, a bit like Ready Player One. But I'm not entirely sure where that plot takes me, but I heard a lot of hype, and it was an author I liked, so I picked it up, which seems to be what I do quite a lot. I go into things quite blindly, and most of the time I'm rewarded for that, but not always. The next book is we're now on to my pile of books that I just bought in random places. I'm pretty sure I picked this up in a supermarket, can't remember which one, but I'm sure it was a supermarket. And I got a book that was a continuation of this series by another author, and I was worried that this series was kind of just going to get spun off to loads of different authors, but now we're back to the original author, so I'm thinking maybe they let that one author write the previous book for reasons I'll find out when I read it. I don't know, I'm getting complicated. Part of Your World by Liz Braswell, and this is the Disney Twisted Tales series. This is like the only kind of middle grade series that I'm continuing on with, that I've got the interest for, just because they're so fun, easy to read, and they are kind of like letting the baddies have a go, like winning and whatnot. So this is obviously What If Ursula won in the end of Little Mermaid, the film. So I'm excited to read on because Ursula's one of my favourite villains, very exciting. And I've enjoyed the first 3, I've read the first 3, and I've got the Mulan one, which is the one that's read by somebody else. Written by someone else. Vicky, it's okay, talking's not that hard. So yeah, I'm excited to read that. Then I got a book that was advertised as a retelling, but then when people have started reading it, they said it's not really a retelling, but I'm still kind of excited just because of the retelling it was supposed to be. And that is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh, which is supposed to be Mulan retelling, but then a lot of people have said it's not Mulan, so don't go into it thinking it's Mulan, but it's still hopefully enjoyable. Obviously I bought it because I thought it was Mulan, and I love Mulan, but I've also enjoyed this author's books before. I really like her Something in the Dawn. Oh my god, I think I forgot this last time. The Wrath and the Dawn. I did forget this in another haul. Apparently the name of that book just can't stick with me, even though I remember the story and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, so I enjoyed that one, so I thought, well, I'm going to give this a go anyways, because as you can see I got it quite cheap, so why not? And then the last book that I bought myself, I bought this in the middle of buying Christmas shopping for other people, but I saw this was online for cheap and I thought, well, I can just add it to my order because I deserve it, maybe, even though I've been rubbish at reading recently and I'm nowhere near my goal. Yeah, I deserve a book. So that is the final book, I think, in this trilogy. Yes, the final book in the Queen of Hearts trilogy, War of the Cards by Colleen Oates. I would say if you are interested in reading about the Queen of Hearts, read this trilogy over Heartless, and that's big saying that because the Lunar Chronicles is maybe even my favourite series of all time. I adore that series, but I don't feel like Marissa Mayer can write the Queen of Hearts as well as Colleen Oates can, and I really like Dinah. I'm sure she's called Dinah. Yes, that would have gone wrong. I really like Dinah and I really relate to her in a way, and I've really enjoyed her part of the story, and I was desperate for the third book, so I'm glad that I found it for cheap. And yeah, that's the last book about myself, and then I only have one more book, and if we thought I struggled pronouncing authors and titles before, get ready for this one. This is the only book I got for Christmas, and it was from Phil's parents, so thank you very much, and I'm so excited for it. But I have to now read the title of this book, and I know I'm going to absolutely balls it up. So apologies. Hopefully someone out there can tell me how to actually pronounce this. I have Apocrypha? I cannot pronounce this word. I've been trying. I've been sat looking at it. Apocrypha. Is that correct? Who knows? Anyways, it's the Legend of Babymetal, and as you all know, I love Babymetal, and I really got into them a couple of years ago, and I've just been a big fan ever since. And I've even spoken about the new changes and how I'm a bit scared, but I'm still willing to hang in there and give it a go when the album comes out and see how they get on. Apparently they've been performing with 7, I think it is, girls on stage now in Japan. So see if that comes over here. Yeah, I don't actually know who this is by because it doesn't have an author on it. Unless that is the author and I'm just being really dumb. So yeah, I don't know who this is by, but I'll try and get, hopefully there's like a nice picture that's not too spoilery. I was hoping to get like a nice picture, but I mean, it's a graphic novel. That's all you need to know. It's a graphic novel. I don't want to spoil it too much. But this is apparently the story of the origin story of Babymetal, because they have a lot of lore around them, but I don't know. I know bits about that kind of stuff with them, but I don't know loads. So this will hopefully catch me up and educate me. Yeah, and so I'm excited for the new album, excited to read this. I might read this as the new album comes out just so I can review both together, that might be fun. But I'm not quite sure what I'm getting myself in for here. And those are all the books that I got since I have last seen you all. Thank you so much for being patient with me, and if you've made it through to the end, you are amazing. I apologise for the amount of words that I apparently cannot say. I promise that I speak English, but just not very well it seems. No, joking. Anyways, have a lovely holiday season. It's still the holidays whilst I'm filming this, and if you're watching this afterwards, I hope you had a wonderful holiday season anyway. Thank you so much. Bye!